Hello friends, welcome back. Let me start with something that I need you to hear clearly. Surviving narcissistic abuse does not mean that you are broken. It means you adapted to something that was never normal to begin with in the first place. If you ever thought, why do I feel stuck even though I left? Or why do I keep attracting the same type of person? Or I'm doing all the healing things, but something feels off. If that's you, you're not alone. Stay with me, because today we're not just talking about surviving narcissistic abuse, but what does it look like to thrive after it? And for those who don't know, my name is Jenny Gaston, licensed professional counselor of 15 years, and I talk about trauma, anxiety, depression, perimenopause for those we're interested in that list. But today we're going to talk about how to move from hypervigilant and exhausted to grounded, confident, and emotionally free. And yes, there will be journaling prompts, practical tools, and some real talk along the way. So grab your tea, your notebook, or just your nervous system, and let's get right to it. Before we dive in, quick reminder, about 80% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. And so go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button. I mean, it's literally free and it helps the channel reach more people who are healing from emotional abuse, trauma, and gaslighting. It's a win-win. But let's move forward. Now let's talk about thriving. Surviving is different than thriving. A lot of people leave narcissistic relationships thinking, okay, once I'm out, I'll feel better. And then they don't. Because your body doesn't know you're safe yet. Usually takes our body a while to follow. Thriving isn't about being happy all the time, because honestly, we can all fake the fun. I love to talk about emotions, not necessarily fake it till you make it, or letting go before your nervous system is ready. Thriving is when your thoughts stop looping and your body stops bracing for impact. And your sense of self comes back online. You feel connected and integrated. So let's talk about how do we get there? Well, we have to talk about the risk factors, especially after narcissistic abuse. Now, these are not characteristic flaws, but these are trauma responses. Trauma bonding is a huge one. Your brain learned to associate love with unpredictability, intensity, breadcrumbing, emotional withholding, intermittent reinforcement. I mean, the list goes on. So calm can feel boring. Safety can feel suspicious. Comment trauma bond if you realizing this is what kept you stuck longer than you wanted. All right, we got to be honest here. We're a community. Let's talk about the second risk factor, chronic self-doubt. Gaslighting doesn't just disappear when the relationship ends. You may still hear, maybe I overreacted. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I should go back. Their voice becomes your voice. You internalize the abuse, and next thing you know, you're gaslighting yourself. You might say, what if I'm the problem? That inner voice, that's not intuition. That's conditioning. Third risk factor, hypervigilance. Always scanning, reading between the lines, watching tone, facial expressions, energy shifts can easily be misunderstood for hyperactivity, but no, it's a trauma response. Your body and your nervous system has learned something bad can happen at any moment. That's exhausting. And it keeps people stuck in survival mode. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be waiting for the rug to pull under my feet every 2 seconds. The fourth risk factor is isolation. Many survivors were isolated during a relationship, and afterwards, shame keeps them isolated. You might think, well, no one will really understand what I went through. It's kind of weird. I should be over this by now. Why am I not? I don't want to trauma dump. So what you do is you keep to yourself, and healing does not happen in isolation. I mean, have you ever seen an animal in the wild that leaves the pack? Never a good sign. The fifth risk factor is repetition compulsion. This is when you say, why do I keep ending up with the same person in a different body? And a lot of times we keep repeating the same situation because we haven't learned the lesson. Your nervous system is trying to resolve unfinished trauma, not sabotage you. This is why many times we end up with partners that often have a lot of similarities as a parent that we struggle to get along with. So if you haven't watched my previous video where I break down how to detect narcissistic personality traits and how to heal, pause and watch that first. It gives important context to today's conversation, and I'll link it also in the description as well. So let's talk about protective factors, how people actually thrive. You know, this is the good news. These are the factors I see again and again in people who truly heal. The first one is psychoeducation. Understanding the diabolical nature of narcissistic abuse changes everything. When they say knowledge is power, is really the key. When you learn this is a pattern, it has a name, I'm not alone, guess what shame does? It starts to loosen its grip. Knowledge is not just power, it's regulation. Number two, nervous system healing. Thriving is body-based. And what it looks like is grounded exercises, such as taking a walk in nature, breath work. Journaling is a really great one. Weight training. Sometimes we have to let things go. Somatic therapy is also great. And to be honest with you, EMDR. EMDR is a type of CBT that's really great for trauma and anxiety. You cannot think your way out of trauma alone. A combination of these treatment options will help to rewire your brain. And going back to Psychoeducation, a great book to read is by Dr. Ramani. It's Not You, How to Heal from Narcissistic Abuse. The third risk factor is boundaries without explaining. Thrivings happen when you stop over-explaining, over-justifying, over-performing for approval. Some of you guys just need to stop. No is a complete sentence. Let's say that again to those in the back. No is a complete sentence. Distance is data. Silence can be protection. So comment no if you're ready, especially in the new year, to put up these boundaries. Number four, community support. Healing accelerates when you're around people who can say, me too. I do have a Facebook support group. It's called No Narc Chronicles. It's a space for education, support, and real conversations without judgment. If you want in, I'll put a link in the description, guys. Let's talk about the fifth protective factor, identity reconstruction. Narcissistic abuse erodes identity. Thriving means asking, who am I without survival mode? What do I like? What feels safe now? You may have to re-explore hobbies because you lost yourself so much. This isn't about becoming who you were before. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. All right, sometimes we can glorify the golden days, but guess what? You can go beyond that. So here's some helpful journal prompts for my note takers. Feel free to pause the video or come back to these later. The first one is, what did I have to minimize about myself to stay in this relationship? Number two, what feels unfamiliar but peaceful in my life right now? Number three, when do I confuse anxiety with attraction? Some of you guys, you're looking for those butterflies and don't realize it's anxiety. 4, what boundaries protect my nervous system today? 5, who am I becoming as I heal? If you journaled along with me, comment journal, or if you plan to journal in the comments. And so if this video helped you in any way to make sense of your experience, please subscribe. It's free and it helps the channel reach other survivors who are still questioning their reality. And share this with someone who needs it. because sometimes we just don't have the language, but once we do, you cannot look back, and that's the healing that you need. Thriving after narcissistic abuse isn't loud. It's quiet confidence. It's peace without chaos. It's trusting yourself again. And so, if no one has told you this yet, you're not behind, you're healing. I'll see you in the next video. As always, much love.